Flip 7 is a Spiel des Jahres nominee for 2025. It's listed as Casino Flair at the Kitchen Table, and yeah, that checks out. This is a short 20-minute push your luck card game. But really, this game is calling itself the greatest card game ever. Okay, sure. So we'll see about that, right? Oh, we also received this game for free, but there's no promise for any content. We played Flip 7 with these player counts on screen and times, but really, it's a party game. You can play with any group that is 3+ players. Flip 7 is a twist on blackjack as you hit from your initial hand of 1 as you try to get as high of a number as possible without getting the same number twice. And then you can pull out for the round if you're chicken and don't want to flip another card. Then you add up your total, that's your points for the round. First to 200 points across multiple rounds wins the game. Oh, it's also Flip 7, so if you get 7 number cards in front of you without busting, you immediately end the round and score 15 more points. And there's some abilities and card modifiers you can get, so now, pros! Cards feel good and are easy to tell apart, like numbers and abilities look so distinct. It's great so you can immediately know what they are when they're flipped. Oh, also Flip 7 uses the medium of cards well. After a round, you don't have to shuffle, just take all the cards, put them in the discard, and then deal 1 more card to everyone. And then the dealer passes to the left. That's it. Next round started already. Like, actually, I can explain the game in 15 seconds. Let's go. Flip 7 is like blackjack, but now busting is hitting a pair. Just add up what's in front of you. First to 200 points wins the game. You play a bunch of rounds. That was less than 15 seconds. Huh. Okay, so for now, the meat of the pros, let's talk about the pushing of luck, and there's a really intuitive probability system here. Calculating is just really intuitive. The count of the card is the number. Wow, so clever. So there's 12 12s. The better the card, the riskier it is to flip more of. Then there's 3 of each ability and 1 of each modifier card. Easy. In fact, I think this game's biggest strength is how intuitive it is to weigh being greedy, because if I don't see a high number, like I don't have a 12 here, well, there's a high probability I'll see a 12, so I'm very tempted to flip another card. I busted. Then there's using your memory and surveying some of your opponents as you recall what has already been flipped in the discard pile. Then add in the changing knowledge of what your opponents have in front of them. Like, there's a lot of 11s gone, so there's not likely to get another, right? Or there's not a lot of cards left in the deck, and I haven't seen the 2x yet, so I could get it. Or you can leverage the memorization of trying to attack others by flipping a 3 on them to knock them out of a round, or freezing them to force them to not score any more points. Lastly, this runs super true to time, so on average, if you don't bust, you'll get 15 to 30 points a round. And then there's pretty much no shuffling required until this deck runs out, so you just discard things, deal out as I said, just keep it going, it's really fast. Once you write down your scores, you're ready for the next round. Cons. Yeah, so I said writing down scores. This game tells you to bring your own pen and paper. It doesn't give you any pen and paper in the box for something so fundamental to the game. Turns out there is a QR code for a score sheet all the way in the back of the rulebook. Why not the front? Oh, it is in the front, but not labeled as so. There's also an app here, which we didn't use, but I was playing around with it and the numbers need to be way bigger. Oh, it also feels extremely fiddly. Like, why are there initial and total buttons that do nothing? Why can't I just skip through all the rounds and that's through a tiny button? This needs to be way simpler. Keeping track of numbers is the game. That is your points. This needs to be super clear to do. Now for gameplay cons, the second chance card is very dull design. It guarantees protection once, so if you were to get a pair, you just delete that new card. Well, this is a brain turn off mode of just hitting more cards when you get second chance, because no matter what you get, you can't die, so hit, just hit. This should have only gave immunity for say odd or even cards, so you have to at least think when using it. More cons. This party filler has quite little interaction. Like, sure, you're looking at what other people get, and then you could goad them on to hit more so they die, but that's really it. So let's compare this to another push your luck, Incan Gold. Here, everyone's profits are around a shared pool, so there's a communal sense of things happening when there's shared misfortune or greed. Even when you pull out, you're still watching others because you're curious on what you missed out on. In Flip 7, well, you're not getting rewarded more for having other people leave, so it's like, who cares about that? At a minimum, these modifier cards should have added or reduced opponents' scores instead of them having no agency. They just go on yourself. This goes into the con in that there's just too much of a reason to pull out early. So yes, this actually means that Flip 7, the name of the game, like to get a Flip 7, isn't that good. It's only 15 points for getting 7 cards, which is really hard to do. 7 is a lot. Usually you end up dying after 4 to 5 cards. Again, back to Incan Gold, if you're deep in a mission, there's generally less people because they chickened out, which means you don't have to share profits as much. So flip a card, pog, I get all of it. So it would feel more impactful and interactive if Flip 7 lets you delete opponents' cards instead of you just getting a boring 15 points. So the Flip 7 changes in value depending on the board. Like maybe you remove a number of cards equal to the player count. TLDR, there's just not enough reason to be stupidly bold and go big in this game. Which gets us into the next gameplay con in that this leans too hard into hard memorization to play well. Okay, sure, so the rulebook technically says that you can't go through the discard, so you could be going through the discard constantly throughout the game, But that feels like in really bad spirit to have all the players just keep checking the discard, because that would slow down the game immensely. So we're left with, well, if you memorize harder, or if you actually did just write down everything as it came out, well, then you're gonna more consistently win the game. Because there's no face down cards in front of players, or there's no cards removed from the main deck to muddy probability. Okay, so we got these problems. The game needs more interaction, there's too much of a reason to pull out early, and that it's really just a hard memorization game. And a nice fix to this is to provide interaction the deeper you stay in a round. So let's say the deeper you stay in a round, and if you happen to live at the end of the round, well, you get to put back some cards in the discard back into the deck. You shuffle them back in. This would actually muddy the deck and give you decision making and fooling your opponents later for maybe some mind games of putting in certain cards here. Last con, there's some slight downtime because it's not surprising to get kicked out on a second flip. Or maybe you pull a 12 as the first card and know it's time to leave. This also goes into how there's no reason to play this game with more people, so 4 to 5 is probably the max. Scoring! Now recommender score. Would we recommend this game for what it is? Well, it's average, 5 out of 10. It's all right. The main thing Flip 7 has going for it is that it's super easy to get to the table and everyone understands blackjack with now some extra steps. Hit. Don't bust. It feels like it was so dumbed down to make it as easy to learn as possible. And yay, now it can technically scale to an infinite number of people, but this isn't necessarily a good thing when there's quite little strategy and interaction. It doesn't require much thinking to smack cards down and cheer or laugh at someone's luck, but the game is clunky because of how point scoring works. Then ironically, for having to keep track of points, there's not even enough for a sweaty player to think about. Like modifiers don't provide any decision making, and all you have are two very simple abilities that have some agency. Numbers could have had certain abilities that trigger when they're dealt in front of you. You could have had players be able to modify the deck slightly, or do a head-to-head showdown of people deciding to hit at the same time. Flip 7 is just push your luck in a pure simple form. So it's whether you get RNG to death individually or pull out individually. It's best for people who like this vagueness of, I think there's about half the 11s and 12s left in this card. If I'm wrong, whatever, it's a short game. Because if you're actually wanting something short that you can replay a lot, Flip 7 isn't deep enough. And as my mom says, she says we should play Flip 7 at dinner parties because it doesn't require much thinking. There you go. It's totally fine as an activity to play cards, like yay, see more cards, number go up, feel good. And it's clearly better than blackjack, but why not play other push your luck games? Like this game doesn't even do the name of itself, Flip 7, that well. And this game is claiming to be the greatest card game of all time? Huh. Yeah, that feels pretty predatory. Like, ooh, shiny box, and this is the greatest card game of all time? I see it in a store? Yeah, people will just get it because of that. How is this allowed for it to be called the greatest card game of all time? Oh, actually, it's the greatest because we called it the greatest. For meaningful push your luck, we'd easily recommend Incan Gold or Deep Sea Adventure. Then if you want a short, simple card game, Uno or Monopoly Deal will do better. But if you want something with actual depth, of course we're gonna recommend Coup, the masterpiece of short card game fillers. No question, Flip 7 does great at a convention when you're playing with strangers. You show up, just flip cards, having fun. You don't really need to interact with them, you just puzzle the intuitive probability. Then when it's done, cool, that's it. Easily put it away. It's kind of like being at a card table at a casino. Now it's time for my personal score on Flip 7. I rate it a 7 out of 10. I have a good time with it. Yes, I was very critical about the game, but I can't deny I've had some great moments with this game, but that's probably mostly because the people I'm playing it with are also having a really good time. Because the game has no friction to actually playing it. But of course, I probably would have had even more fun playing Incan Gold and less low lows. But I mean, look at how much fun we're having playing Flip 7 here.
Has two.
Oh, we did it!
Nice.
7 cards!
Wait, 7 cards.
7 cards!
So it ends around for everyone.
He does get it.
It ends around for everyone.
Oh, he doesn't get his second chance.
Yeah, so you don't get your second chance.
He screwed up for me. Oh!
Nice.
No, I should have just... That's not my fault. That's not my fault.
It's gonna be 12.
Oh my god. You have to hit the guy.
So Flip 7 is actually missing a mechanic for me to actually play it more alongside Incan Gold. And currently it just feels too solitaire to play it more than twice in a sitting, unless the group is awesome. Oh, also has no theme, so that's boring. But I still like it, and I feel like it's a great tool as a non-board gamer catnip. Like it reminds me of growing up playing those filler card games at summer camps or youth groups that were way more fun than just sitting around and doing nothing, trying to awkwardly socialize with other youth. But when you really paused and thought about the game, there were a lot of problems, and thinking deeply about games is what our reviews are all about. Basically, I can't deny that Flip 7 is legit fun, but it's really more of just like a vehicle to flip cards with friends and laugh about it. It's like very addicting, but in a junk foody way that doesn't make me feel good after playing it and sometimes while playing. Sometimes it's like, oh, it's fun, hit me, hit me, hit me. Other times I get hit and like, wow, this design has some problems.
Oh, see, I get that pass.
I pass.
Holy shit, get that pass.
The The ultimate takeaway I have now is that, man, Incan Gold is a freaking good game. But sometimes the game where you just deal out a number and you say, hit me, hit me, hit me, is the one that actually gets played. Thanks to all other patrons for making this video possible, and of course our Mad Lads of Cardboard over here. Let me know what you think about Flip 7 or other Spiel Des Jahres for this year, 2025. See you guys down below.